Right off the top, we are going to be talking about WandaVision episode 5. It is titled A Very Special Episode. And I love how these titles are, just the of their time, what you would see on TV Guide. A very special episode. It's brilliant. So first of all, I love Kenny's background.
Yeah, thanks.
You got the WandaVision. And don't look at Brianna's. Everybody,
spoiler alert.
Cover that part of the screen. But we will be talking about that as well. Again, like I said, we got all the cool details here. But starting off with WandaVision. Just quick recap. This is episode 5. And we in the prior episode, Wanda had just kicked out what was her name? Regina. It's Rambo's daughter. But kicked her out, and now they're starting to assess the situation. I love this episode, but I want to start with you, Kenny, and get your thoughts on the cookies, the details, and feel free to go ahead and throw in that spoiler that we're all waiting to discuss.
Oh man,
yes, go good sir.
All right, I was actually really blown away by this episode. I think I thought it was the best episode so far. That's Kenny's personal opinion. But it was really well done. I loved the throwback to, what was it? I think Growing Pains.
Oh, well, and again, not to cut you off, but I know Family Ties was the painting when they're painting in the actual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Was it Family Ties?
Family Ties is with Michael J. Fox.
And there was also Growing Pains, because if you go and watch the Growing Pains intro, it was like the same theme. I
think it was a combination.
Yeah, it was a fantastic throwback to, I think late 80s, early 90s was the.
It was mid 80s, and it was definitely, you had your Family Ties, your Growing Pains, your what was the other one? Family Ties, Growing Pains. What was the one with the twins?
Full House.
Full House. Thank you.
Yeah.
All of it, in a nice.
Which is a throwback in and of itself, because that was the Olsen twins.
Elizabeth Olsen
in Full House, and you have the Elizabeth Olsen doing almost a parody of it. But no, I loved the episode, and I loved basically I thought when Wanda actually decided to confront them in person outside of her Westview world, I was like, this is getting real. But also, and I think that kind of cemented for me that she has to have some very conscience awareness of everything that's going on, and that she has control of a lot of what's going on. I still stand behind the previous statement of that. I think she's being manipulated. Like, her grief is being used to a greater extent, but we don't know what that is yet. But I did love when she came out and confronted them, tossed the drone at their feet, and then turned the soldiers on the director, the sword director. And then definitely, like you said earlier, I got to throw that spoiler out there. At the very end, bringing in her brother from what we have to believe is an alternate universe, or that she's just recast him. But my take on that is that either she has brought him from another universe, or he was sent from another universe to be a part of this.
So
I'm wondering if she intentionally brought him, or did it by accident. That's what I don't, because she seems so surprised by it. So it's
so earlier in the episode, her sons are asking, I think it was her sons that were asking her if she had a brother. And she said yes, but he's very far away. And
Well, he was killed in Age of Ultron, right? Like in the Marvel
Yes.
universe. So
Yes.
obviously,
But she doesn't say that. She says,
right.
very far away.
Yeah.
True. Oh, so maybe that like manifested him
Yeah, I was gonna say,
showing back up.
for a minute, like
Okay.
remembering him, and I think maybe that is what triggers him coming over. But I love it because I think it's a great crossover moment. I am hoping that this is going to start bringing in the other Marvel properties, like from the X-Men and Fantastic Four universes. I am absolutely looking forward to that. So.
Absolutely. Brianna, getting your thoughts. First of all, do you like it? Secondly, what does it all mean?
First question, yes, I liked it. It was my favorite one so far also. What does all mean? I have no idea. I'm still just as confused as normal. Like every time they start to explain stuff, they just add more things and I'm like, wait, what? but I at least did know Evan Peters as Quicksilver from the X-Men movies. This is like his parts are really the only ones that I remember. Like the slow motion things that he did were really, really cool and very memorable. But yeah, I liked it. It's interesting to watch Vision start to figure out like what's happening in the world, and it's clear over that episode that that's what's happening. Like the awkward moment in the beginning when what's her name shows up in like the jazzercise outfit.
Agnes.
She was like an on-set type of thing. Like, should we go back to one? And she's just like, ha, 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 ha. Like they don't know what to do. So that was pretty crazy. But yeah, just setting up that like Vision is uncomfortable. He doesn't know what's going on. He knows something is up. And it's clear that the people that have gone through this, like that Wanda is manipulating somehow, like they're in pain, like they don't want to be stuck there. So I think it's setting up more of like, you know, Vision might have to go against Wanda to help get her, you know, get everyone out of this. It's, I don't know.
So feeding off of that, for one, you bringing up the people that you were seeing that are uncomfortable. So something I noticed is, in this episode in particular, Agnes showed that she was aware of what was going on without any kind of intervention. Whereas when Vision is at his office with what's the character's name? Norm. Touch him for him to like kind of snap out of it. So that makes you wonder, or makes me wonder, if Agnes is more involved than it's coming across right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she's kind of aware of stuff and like she'll make jokes about it, but so it like calms everyone down. But yeah, I would definitely. That's interesting.
It's getting so good. Logan, what's your takeaway from this episode?
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic. Just the whole, you know, even just the way the title kind of set you up for something's going to happen or you're going to get something, like, you know, all the on, like I can still remember the previews being like on a very special episode of Growing Pains or this or that, and it's like, all right, something's going down on the next one and it's not going to be your audience laugh track kind of stuff. And I think it's certainly delivered on that. I think I'm still going to take Wanda's side on all of this. I don't think she's the mastermind. I don't think she's controlling everything. I think, and she alluded to it at least at one point, where she's certainly playing along. She's certainly enjoying it. She's certainly, you know, loving that she gets to have a family with Vision and will do maybe more than she ordinarily would have to keep that illusion going. But I don't think she's the one pulling all the strings, and I don't think that she's the one behind, you know, the pain that Norm's going through and all the others. And I think, to Agnes's point, you know, just the way that she can kind of see through things, you know, there's always a difference between background characters and starring characters. And I think that's what's gonna play out in the next 3 episodes, about how things really, who's really on what side, what sides there even really are. I think that's going to be, you know, really, really interesting to see as it goes. But yeah, I mean, that $71 billion cameo at the end was phenomenal. One thing to realize it was a Quicksilver, it was another to see that Quicksilver, and I think it again is just a whole nother show of just how masterfully they're directing these, Disney, Marvel, Kevin Feige run TV productions, and how directly it's going to lead into the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange 2.
I think you're right. I think everybody has brought a special perspective that I think all of you are right to an extent. I want to add to that. First of all, I want to go through some of the cookies that maybe you saw, maybe you did not. First of all, and I wrote all these down because, what am I going to do? Spend family time, improve my life? No, I'm watching this episode, writing details that I spot.
At least you're honest.
So,
Admitting it's the first step.
Yes, exactly. I'm starting a meeting. It's going to be great. So did anybody notice the commercial?
Yep, Lagos. And that is the location where she had the explosion issue that sparked the Sokovia Accords. Yes.
Again,
what was have the commercial say it? Lagos for when
you make a mess.
It's like when you need a mess cleaned up or something like that.
Like that.
Exactly. It's bad. It's bad, especially because they used a red liquid that was very.
Oh, jeez.
It was interesting. And let's see. There was another thing that we already talked about, the Family Ties intro with the painting brush. But yeah, it did, include all of those 80s kind of in one. And obviously the irony that she is a sister of twins. She's not a twin herself, but her sisters were twins on that exact show. It's so overlapping with so many things. I also dug the well, then this isn't so much a cookie, but I'm sorry, not a cookie, an Easter egg. That's what I'm trying to say. Some other small edible device. So I did like how Rambo discovered the transmutation of her 70s leisure suit, because she went in there with a Kevlar vest, and because Wanda is transmuting everything, it turned into like this suit, but the matter didn't really change. It just rearranged, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So just like when you saw the beekeeper, he was a guy in a hazmat suit. And because I guess that hazmat suit didn't exist in her reality, it morphed into something else. And that being said, I do believe that Vision in the outside of this bubble is gray and just busted up robot, C-3PO in Empire Strikes Back.
They're even saying, like, how does he even live without the whatever the
Wait, I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
But Kenny, go. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, speaking of Vision, did you notice when they showed the security footage of her breaking into Sword headquarters, when the room that he was being kept in, he was disassembled?
Oh yeah, no, I'm getting to that. I'm getting. So, I mean, first of all, has anybody seen Akira, the anime?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, as you remember, Akira was in multiple jars, and the people that had these telekinetic powers, the little Benjamin Button kids, basically through their meditation, put them back together.
Yep.
And that, I think, was a direct callback to Akira. But here's the thing, and this is where I'm going to go on full theory here. I do believe that the Mind Stone is, although it was shattered by Wanda in the Infinity War, that's just like the casing of it. The Mind Stone is like more of an energy, and I believe that breaking it doesn't simply make it go away. I believe she had because again, she was actually experimented on with the Mind Stone. And I believe, just like Captain Marvel, how she embodied some of the Power Stone, Wanda has empowered some of the Mind Stone, and the Mind Stone is reconstituting itself around her. And I believe Rambo made a very important statement. Rambo said, well, she would have hurt me. And they said, well, she's kidnapped an entire town. She goes, yeah, it could have been everybody if she didn't quarantine them. So in my mind, she quarantined them because this power was welling up within her. And this will track. Check this out. If the Mind Stone is basically allowing her to live out fantasies in her mind and manifesting them in reality, and she kind of realized what was going on, but she got her vision back. What would she care? So she put up a barrier to live out this reality fueled by the Mind Stone, because they kept referencing that she's putting out a lot of power. And the reason they're saying that is because that's like over what she's normally capable of. So
she
I'm
hasn't played that level of power before.
exactly. So I'm thinking that the Mind Stone is, it's going to come back. She will be putting it back in Vision, and that's how it'll end. But I believe they will have a standoff where Vision basically has to stop her from all of this, basically suppressing the consciousness of everybody in Westview. And again, Westview, awfully close to Westworld, another fake place where people are living out these scenarios with no freedom of will. I'm just saying that's
So
the other reason I wanted to say.
on your Infinity Stone statement there, the Mind Stone did not get destroyed. She destroyed it, and then Thanos reversed time, brought Vision back, then yanked the Mind Stone out of Vision's head, which is why he's missing his forehead.
Yeah, but Thanos destroyed the Vision Stone later. You're right.
But then they went back. They all went back.
Well, that's a different timeline. That's a different timeline.
And they returned those, so theoretically,
Yes.
remember back where they were.
America trimmed all the branches.
Yeah, you're right. Huh.
And again, trust me, it's a working theory. But my point being is that remember Vision said only somebody who has the same frequency or whatever as the Mind Stone has the power to destroy it. So she's already part Mind Stone in my mind. And I think that
I like it. I like your theory. So
well, again,
I think you're right with the Mind Stone could come up again, but I think it would just be another multiverse's Mind Stone. Like, I think we're dealing with an overarching villain, and I think that villain may have a Mind Stone or the power of the Mind Stone in some way, but from whatever multiverse that villain's from.
Now that's more disturbing.
So I read a theory that Agnes might actually be a villain herself. That when she found the dog, she killed the dog. That's why it was dead.
Oh, okay. Okay, here's the thing. Again, that is a possibility. There's so many possibilities, but when it comes to the dog, I do want to point out that in the comic, the dog Sparky dies also, but it died from being electrocuted, and that whole premise about her not being able to bring back things from the dead still tracks. But I'm really concerned, and I mentioned this before, about the whole moral implications of creating those twins. Is she taking those twins from somebody else? Are they other infants, or is she manifesting them? And if they are they real? Are they, sentient living beings, or is it just some sort of a mind job that we're getting here?
Yeah, I did like how the kids grew on their own,
remember, she also could not stop them from crying, so she did not have She did not have total control over the kids. She didn't have total control over Agnes. She didn't. She had total control over. It's almost like you're in a Sims game, and the more characters, it starts to get more and more glitchy, and her hold on them becomes a little less tenuous, or more tenuous.
When she even made the comment that she didn't know how all this started, like in her last argument with Vision, so I was like, I don't know how much she actually is controlling or
and
curated all of this.
To that point, almost like in most sitcoms, when somebody sets it up, the doorbell rings and then somebody makes an appearance. So that's, when she said, I didn't do that. Technically, I don't think she did it, but I think and that's why I'm thinking the Mind Stone is basically using her as a conduit, because she was thinking something about family, and all of a sudden it happened.
Shows up.
So it may not be a conscious decision, but I think it's basically, filling in the gaps. And I'm sorry, can I go ahead?
I was going to say, what are your thoughts on her and Vision almost having that fight, like at the end, where he actually got angry? Because to date, have we seen Vision's character express emotion?
Well, he's supposed to love her. I guess that's an emotion.
but I mean, express it to that level. Yes, he does express love, but
Also remember, Vision has no memory before Westview. He is basically, and I hate to say it, her puppet, because he did not remember anything before they got there. So that's what I'm saying is I think she just basically C-3PO'd him, put him back together, wiped his memory, and she's
what I'm wondering is if it's more like the reason that he's displaying the emotions that he is more due to her than him.
Well, again, I don't think he's fully autonomous.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what's powering him is the Mind Stone
Yeah.
funneled through her. So there is, because there is. But then again, is that a real relationship? Somebody who can't get mad?
Yeah, that's what's kind of bothersome. It's so weird.
It's like you're dating Spock. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Depending on your version of Spock, he gets mad too.
That is true. That is true. But again, we can do a whole episode on this. I think we can all agree that it's going very interesting places. And I think the consensus is each episode is getting better and opening up so many possibilities that it's
I'm almost tempted to stay up till whatever was it 3 o'clock in the morning our time when the
it's just
to watch it.
a couple more hours.
yes. We may have to rearrange our scheduling so we can do maybe a next day summary, because it's been hard. With all this stuff going in my head, and again, like I said, I've been drafting up all these theories. It looks like that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia Charlie moment where he has the red string.
Yes, he's like going all crazy, like all jacked up on caffeine.
I'm looking for Pepe Sylvia, and there is no Pepe Sylvia. But, But anyway, it
should change that to your background.
I will. I'll just have pictures of like Vision and Wanda and Pietro and
a screen cap of that board they have in the FBI or the sword place. And just put that up.
Yes, with all the tacks up. And
Yep.
But and before we jump off, I do want to address the multiverse, the Doctor Strange, the possibility of bringing them in. I definitely think that Doctor Strange will at least get referenced. Something has to happen because of the multiverse. And I think I said this last episode, is that I strongly believe that she's going to have a breakdown. I do believe, Kenny, that she will have a physical confrontation with Vision, and it might end badly, because if he's still just a puppet, she can kind of snip those. And I think that would be also very traumatic. I think all of this is a delusion to keep her from trauma. And that's why I think it's going to go to some dark places.
Yeah.
And I think that only Doctor Strange would probably have the power to shut her down. Again, and I think I said this before, a la Professor Xavier. And speaking of Professor Xavier, now, yes, let's talk about Pietro from the Fox, MCU, I guess you'd call it. And is she conjuring the actor to be? Because maybe she saw it in a movie. Maybe that's a movie in their reality.
I like that, but I think I texted you after you told me you had watched it, and I said one of my working theories at the time was that Doctor Strange may be actually aware of what's going on and brought the Evan Peters, Quicksilver from the X-Men universe basically he's like, she needs somebody to connect with to help kind of bring her down and reconnect her with reality. And the closest thing he could do is bring this other version of her brother. So
we're talking.
That's just that is just a random Kenny theory.
No, that's you're doing a Total Recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Sharon Stone shows up and she's like, no, I'm here in the lab. This is all a dream. It's all a dream.
Hey, it could be. But I do like the way you said it. Maybe she saw an X-Men movie. And
remember in Logan,
so she brings in Evan Peters to play his character.
Hey, Thor had Matt Damon playing Loki, and in the movie Logan, they were reading comic books that literally depicted them. I mean, they're superheroes. Why not? And trust me, they had a working knowledge of the Avengers like it was the household name. They were like, yeah, remember in Sokovia, they did this. So these are legends, and I why not?
Did you catch the reference to the Monica? Was it Monica Rambeau? What's her name?
Yeah.
So when they were in the lab working on their theories, and she said, I know an astrophysicist that would love a crack at this.
Yes.
I think that's a nugget right there.
Oh,
absolutely. That's an Easter egg referencing potentially referencing Richard Reed.
Don't know. Okay, that's enough. I can't.
Oh.
He can mute you.
Yeah, what are you doing? That's a whole nother hour. Yes, the Fantastic Four. And again, this is what phase is this? Is this phase 10 or that we're in phase 3 or phase 4?
No, this is 4.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think you're right. I think Fantastic Four is on the table now. Obviously, X-Men. I've not heard anything on casting or any. So I think maybe an Easter egg they'll drop in there. But oh my God, stop it! My brain hurts now. Okay. So
just saying.
That's
they wouldn't have dropped something like that for no reason.
Or would they? No,
come on.
I'll tell you, it's so exciting. Again, love the show. And down the road they're going to be coming.
There's rumors of an actual Agent Wu.
The Wu and Darcy series.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked, you know what? Because I watched the episode again. That episode when they were in the facility, it looked like X-Men episode. I mean, not X-Men.
X-Files.
Thank you. Yes, X-Files with X-Men. Yes, it's. And I also did notice that Rambeau did have a slight pause when they mentioned Captain Marvel.
Oh, there was a reaction there. Oh yeah.
Reaction. I don't know if she has some sort of resentment towards Captain Marvel, or some secret, or knows something. Again, so many things, so many feelings.
Mm-hmm.